Hey guys, Will back once again for another fight card prediction. We're going to be breaking down UFC Fight Night 102 from Albany in New York for a card which has taken a lot of hits recently. A lot of newcomers have come in on very short notice, and the good fights that were on this card, the ones I was looking forward to, have kind of fell off. Your Aljamain Sterling, Rafael Sunsao fight fell off, and there's just been a lot of plug-in plays in this card here. So not overly one I'm looking forward to, especially the night before UFC 206, where a few of these fights, maybe the heavyweights, could have beefed out that card a little bit. Coming off a decent night at the tough finale, going 10-2, did alright, did okay. Looking to kind of do that just that little bit better and see if we can get everything right. But as always, please follow me on Twitter, WillMartin7MMA. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm very close to 600 subscribers. I would love to get that before the end of the year. If you could do that and help me out in any way, it'll be greatly appreciated. Please go and follow all the good people down below me that make great products every week for me to watch, for betting on, for analysing stuff. You can play me in DraftKings at Bilber85. I played Jitsu Rob on there, who was we had a really good game, very close. The Masvidal thing kind of put things my way, but it was nice to play with that guy in there. I'm hoping to play with him this week because it was a lot of fun. And if you want to tail my bets, I'm on a pretty nice little streak right now. Hopefully I can keep that going. You can find me in Capertech at Will Martin MMA. Just go and have a look there. So get into this. I'm not going to try and too much of your time here. Keith Berish against Ryan James is the first fight. I'm just going on Wikipedia. This is not the official probably tailored card where it's going to be. Keith Berish, we haven't seen him. Last time we did see him, it was in the light heavyweight division against Robert Drysdale, where he lost that fight, and Robert Drysdale, it got changed to a no contest after he tested positive for a banned substance. So making that was like 2.5 years ago as well there, and we've seen that he's got a clear kind of disparity going to the ground there. Overall, he's okay. He's nothing great in anything, but I think down in the ground he can be got at. And his opponent here, Ryan James, 8-1 fighter out of Canada, is very good on the ground, very composed. Takes his time, doesn't rush things, but he is very, very good down in the ground. He uses positions very well to kind of move on to even better positions. He's just very patient, a very patient grappler who's forever looking to get the finish. And the mean part, he does most of the time. Hard to find a lot of footage on the guy, but what I have seen is he's very, very good, very patient, and I like him down there. If Keith Berish has been caught before, I think that Ryan James, he's had a couple of fights fall out. He'll be very, very hungry for this one here. I like him in this fight. I think the longer the fight goes and the more he can get this fight towards the ground, I think he's going to find a submission. So I'm going to go Ryan James by submission in round number 2. Actually, the fight I'm looking forward to, or the fighter I'm looking forward to most in the entire card, it's Frankie Perez against Marc Diakiese. And of course I'm talking about Marc Diakiese here. He fights out of Manchester, England. A fighter I've watched come through the ranks here in Europe, in England, in the UK I should say. And I got to see his UFC debut a couple of months ago, it will be now, by the time this fight comes round, at UFC 204 in Manchester. Just a top quality guy and a very, very, very fun fighter, a very good fighter to add to the lightweight division. Like I said in the first time when I predicted his fight here, came out a little bit too fast, and Suyuski took him down and kind of controlled him a little bit. But once he kind of settled himself down, got those jitters out the road, he just showed the devastating fighter he can be. A huge slam in that, I think it was the end of the first round there, and then came out in the second round and just put it on Lucas Suyuski and finished him with a barrage of shots there. Just an extremely athletic, hard-hitting lightweight who is just a great addition to this division. Frankie Perez coming out of retirement, he won his last UFC fight against Sam Stout, which is not saying a hell of a lot because Sam Stout he was long gone by that point. He should have probably never been fighting, to be honest with you. I'm going to go Marc Diakiese here. The only thing that I will kind of worry about if he gets taken down, gets put on his back, because Perez is very good. He's very underestimated on the ground, and he can pull out short submissions. Diakiese, recently has been showing off a lot of his striking, but if you go back and watch the older fights, he's shown a lot of chops, grappling chops, very, very good, very, very strong, hard to manoeuvre around down there and hard to get submissions on. I'm going to go Marc Diakiese. I'm going to go via TKO. I actually might go end of round number 1 in that one there. Tiago Trator against Shane Hurricane Burgos. Looking forward to seeing Shane Burgos. I've heard about this guy for the last probably year or so. I think he was the CFFC champion, and I've watched, anytime I've had a chance to watch his fights, I have done. Nice to see him getting the call into the UFC here, a local fighter. Fights out of Tiger Schulman's gym, and you know the guys that come out of that gym are very, very good, very well rounded, like your Jimmy Rivera's and so on. This guy's a really good counter striker, and he's got some really heavy hands as well. He's 7-0 with all finishes, and I like this matchup for him here. As a UFC debut, I think this is a really nice one, even though he's coming in short notice here, and everything's kind of against him. He's against a guy who's got UFC experience there. I think the only thing that Tiago Trator here can really do is try and hold him up against the cage, and Shane Burgos on occasions has been kind of known to have his back against the cage and be put up in there. Terrell Hobbs did that before he got knocked out, but I just think this guy's a little bit too explosive. I think if he has a decent weight cut and he keeps his adrenaline kind of calm throughout the fight, not like getting top on him too much, he can win this fight, and he can stop this guy as well. I'm going to go a win for the newcomer here in Shane Burgos. I think that he's just a very aggressive counter striker, very clean, very crisp boxing. In that Hobbs fight, he hit him with a huge head kick and put him to sleep in that one there. And just another fun guy to bring in the UFC featherweight division. And I like him in this fight. I'm going to go a TKO the end of round number 2 for Burgos here. Moving on, the middleweight division with Andrew Sanchez against Trevor Smith. Nice fight here for Andrew Sanchez to see where he is in this division, because Trevor Smith, although not overly spectacular, is a very tough guy to beat. He's very savvy. He keeps himself in the fight. He does gas quite a lot. He showed that in the fight. I've seen that in Mo Eyes in Dublin. He did that against Joe Gigliotti in his last fight, which he won. He did slow down a little bit, but his grappling chops and his experience came through there. He controlled the fight and got the decision victory here. Andrew Sanchez was the tough winner. He beat Khalil Roundtree, who lost in Melbourne to Tyson Pedro, and was kind of clearly the best guy on that show, even though not overly athletic, but he was the best guy in that show. And he's a well-rounded, decent fighter here, and this is a really good step up to see where he is against someone like Trevor Smith, because Trevor Smith is very hard to put away. He's going to be in there for the 15 minutes working, making it ugly, looking to kind of steal rounds. But I think Andrew Sanchez, he's just got enough. I think this is a fight that could really go either way, but I'm going to pick Andrew Sanchez just. I think he's got more chance of a finish as well. I know we're coming off 3 finishes to start off this card, but I don't see this one being a finish. I like Andrew Sanchez. I'm going to go via decision. Staying in that middleweight division with Joe Gigliotti against Gerald Meerschaert here. Gerald Meerschaert, really happy that he's getting his UFC debut there. He was the RFA champion, welterweight champion, I think it was. I could be wrong. Even though it's at middleweight, I think he's getting this short buzz and he's moving up a division. But I do think he's got an opponent here which he can beat, definitely. Gigliotti, although I think he has a lot of really good physical attributes, I think that he's mentally not all there yet, and he probably shouldn't be in the UFC. He showed that in the Trevor Smith fight. He came out swinging, and Smith, being the savvy competitor that he is, just took him down and completely controlled him down there. Meerschaert, he beat, I think it was Chase Walden last time out. I remember watching his fight. I actually watched earlier on today as well, and caught him with a really nice first round submission. And he hasn't lost in a couple of years. I think it's 2-3 years. Last loss to UFC middleweight Sam Alvey. I like him in this one as well. I think Gigliotti, he just expends all his energy trying to hit you with the big shots, and even though he has a lot of physical talents, he really does. I just don't think he's altogether mentally there, and I think someone like Meerschaert can work work on him a little bit and use that experience, because he is the more experienced fighter in this here. And as long as he doesn't get hit with an explosive shot from Gigliotti and just kind of watches and keeps his chin tucked down, he should be good in this one. I'm going to go a very close decision for Gerard Meerschaert here. Welterweight division. Randy Brown against Brian Camozzi here. Camozzi getting the call up here after Charlie Ward was removed from the card and moved to the Belfast card. Randy Brown, I actually think he's peaked out in the UFC. He was on his way to losing that fight against Eric Montano without throwing on that kind of Darce choke, I think it was, if I remember right off the top of my head. He was getting controlled, getting put against the cage, and he just did not look good in that fight before he caught that guillotine choke. And I think he's just kind of leveled himself out a little bit. Brian Camozzi, all around a decent fighter. I've seen his fights. I first came to kind of prominence with this guy was when he was against Ken Glenn, and Ken Glenn should never have been fighting in that welterweight division, never in a million years, because he was too small. He should never have been in that division. Plain and simple, he was a 155er. Pat Miletich says he's got that baby fat that he could have lost there, and I totally agree with him there. Before that, he won the RFA welterweight title. Gerard Meerschaert won the middleweight title, that's what I was thinking. And Camozzi won the welterweight title here with a beautiful submission over Nick Barnes in the first round. And just really looked solid, and he's looked solid for the last couple of years. He's went over Tyler Milner. I think I like him in this fight. I don't think I'm too confident picking Randy Brown. I think he's peaked out for me, and although he has a lot of physical attributes, which in the future he could be very, very good, I am not sold on him anymore. I think that loss to Michael Graves kind of showed him a little bit. I think Camozzi is an all-around better fighter than what Randy Brown is. So I'm going to go Brian Camozzi. Do I see him finishing Randy Brown? I don't think so, but if he gets the opportunity to get a choke or a limb, I think Brian Camozzi can definitely stop the fight. But I'm going to go Brian Camozzi via decision. Moving on, we are Juliana Lima against JJ Aldrich. JJ Aldrich's getting the late call in here after who was it that pulled out? I cannot remember who pulled out for this one. Let me see. I think it wasn't a great fight anyway, was it? Tatiana Suarez. In fact, I was looking forward to seeing. I thought this was a good matchup for Suarez personally against a tough, gritty fighter in Juliana Lima. But I think this is a really easy win here for Juliana Lima. I think that she is going to ragdoll JJ Aldrich a little bit. If she gets her hands on her, she is going to take her down and just kind of lay in it. I don't think Aldrich is really going to have much for her. Aldrich only fought a few weeks ago in Invicta where she beat Lynn Alvarez. Looked very good in doing so. Was on the show. I think she actually lost to Tatiana Suarez. She did. She got submitted by Tatiana on the show there. I like Juliana Lima. I think she's going to... she could hurt on the feet a little bit, but I think she's just going to lay and pray with every opportunity she gets. Plus, she's coming off that loss to Esparza, so she's most motivated to get this win here. I'm going Lima via decision. Light heavyweight division with Corey Anderson against Sean O'Connell. Don't like this match at all for Sean O'Connell. He's coming off that loss to Steve Bossy. It was a really good fight, though. It was one of the best fights, one of my favourite fights of the year, just for the sheer sloppiness and the back and forwardness of it. But Corey Anderson, I think at this point, every fight he's shown you that he's moving on. He's making himself a better fighter, a better athlete, and he's got the best nickname in the UFC in Beast in 25-8. You can never really pick against a guy with a nickname like that. But I just think he is clear levels above Sean O'Connell here, and Sean O'Connell gets reckless where takedowns will be open for Corey Anderson here, and I think he could submit Sean O'Connell. Sean O'Connell gas is really bad, and he leaves so many openings. I cannot pick him. He does have power, which he could crack Corey Anderson, but Corey Anderson has shown that he's actually got a pretty decent chin. So yeah, I'm going to Corey Anderson. I'm going to go a submission, probably end of round number 2. Staying in the light heavyweight division, we've got Gian Villante against Saperbek Safarov. Watched some Safarov yesterday and today, and very reckless, very, very reckless. I think he's undefeated record, beat Rodney Wallace, the former UFC veteran there, which was a little bit of a weird finish then, the end of round number 2. But in his fight, I think it was a Georgian fight, GG, I cannot remember his name. It began with a K. Kavalishvili, I think it might have been. That was a weird fight. He got cracked, but then just came for winging forward, throwing huge shots, and when this GG guy from Georgia was kind of rushing towards him, took him down, and he kind of got a really weak submission that it was barely on before this guy was tapping. I don't even think it was that tightly on, and he got that win there. I think that Gian Villante should win this fight if he stays technical. When we see Gian Villante really keep it technical, he's actually a really decent fighter. We've seen that in the Corey Anderson fight, where he really used that big long jab and really hurt Corey Anderson and stopped him in that fight. Came out, got knocked out by Tom Lawler, knocked out Anthony Perez. Then he lost to Latifi at UFC 196. I think I'm going to pick Gian Villante here. I think if he keeps it technical and he keeps it off the ground, that he is going to hurt Safarov, and I think he could definitely stop him here. I'm going to go for a decision for Villante. I definitely can possibly see a finish for him, but I'm going to go with decision in this one for Gian Villante. Co-main event, we have Francis Ngannou against Anthony Hamilton. First of all, I think that Francis Ngannou should have been facing Derrick Lewis in this main event. I really do. I don't see why they keep them apart. I know there are two guys coming up. You need it in the heavyweight division, but I thought it would have been a great fight. But I'm going to go Francis Ngannou here. I can see this being a lot like the Todd Duffy fight, where as soon as Anthony Hamilton tries to engage, he's going to get cracked in the chin, and he is just going to go to sleep. I think he's going to be kind of overconfident after that knockout of Damon Grabowski. He's just going to come right into the layer of Francis Ngannou, the Predator, and he's just going to get cracked and he's going to get put to sleep. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Just the better fighter, the better athlete, and the better, more punching power, the better chin. Francis Ngannou first round TKO or knockout, whatever you may feel. I think I'll finish in the first round though. Then in the main event, we've got Derrick Lewis against Shamil Abdurakhimov. And I'm going to go with Derrick Lewis via knockout in the first couple of rounds. I don't know what they're really doing with this matchup, because Shamil is not really going to raise his profile or anything. I don't think Derrick Lewis actually won. In fact, both these guys I don't actually think won their fights last time out. I thought Shamil lost to Walt Harris, and I thought that Derrick Lewis definitely lost to Roy Nelson. I scored that for Roy Nelson personally. But Derrick Lewis is one of... If you don't follow this guy on Twitter, by the way, you have to go follow him, because he is one of the funniest dudes you'll ever see on there. I'm going to pick Derrick Lewis. I think that he's going to find a way to find the chin of Shamil. Shamil's going to want to try and grapple with Derrick here, and Derrick is a really tough guy to grapple. He's a big lump of a man, and he's really hard to get to the ground and keep there now. He seems to be improving in his takedown defense a little. I know he got taken down in the Roy Nelson fight, but I think it is improving, and he's starting to realise that if he gets put in his back, that he needs to get off really, really quick, and he's shown that. I think he's shown that in the Victor Pesta fight as well. I just think that Shamil's going to come forward. They're going to engage sometimes, and Derrick's going to crack him with a big shot there. So I'm going to go Derrick Lewis. In fact, I'm going to go second round TKO victory there for Derrick Lewis. So that is my picks for UFC Fight Night 102 from Albany, New York. I think I'm going to make, I know it's 2 o'clock in the morning, I think I'm going to make my UFC 206 prediction video. If not, that will be out tomorrow. I'll see how I feel in the next 10-15 minutes. But thank you for watching. Come follow me on Twitter, Will Martin MMA. If you want to play DraftKings, come find me at Bilber85. And if you want to tail my bets, Capper Take, Will Martin at MMA. So please like, comment, subscribe. Please go and support all the guys down there. Half the Battle, Bookie Beatdown, Rockstar Z, MMA Kelton, the Young Buck coming through there, MMA Profit, Brandon Kaplan. He'll hopefully be putting out a video for 206, and the UFC Betting Sharks on Facebook. Really appreciate those guys, just the work that they put in, and a really good group on Facebook. So see you all soon. Shout out to all the guys on Twitter who I converse with, and see you all very, very soon. Enjoy the card if you can.